Hey kids, this is Pulse Ray Vision coming to you live from Cuatro Cinco Studios in my mom's basement. And it is a beautiful Friday night, and we have been cooking on many different levels for all of you. Um, we've been cooking on the dev level, we've been cooking on the art level, and we've been cooking on the story level. We we've cooked so much. It's like It's like Thanksgiving around here. We've been cooking so much. We got Hex Tea popping up. Ahoy, mateys. Ahoy, 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 ahoy. Good to see you, buddy. I didn't really announce this or anything. I just was here at the computer and wanted to share some crazy, deep lore with you guys. Um, Yeah, yeah, it goes along with the story. It goes along with the universe that we're building at agproject.io. That's right, anti-gravity. If you're not part of the Telegram, I'm sorry for you, son. We got 99 members, and Twitch ain't one. We'll say. Let's see here. T.me// anti-gravity saga. Get in there. That also has all of the um, that also has all of the um, information right here um, for our bug bounty program that's going on right now at our website. In fact, you should probably go over there and check it out. But I haven't even reposted this link in our let's see here, view on YouTube. I haven't posted this link in YouTube and X yet. So let me post this on X as well. There we go. Post this. And I'll just put live right now on X and YouTube. Boom. Boom. Post that one. And as it says, crypto isn't ready for what we're cooking up here. Crypto's not ready for some of these communities that are being built right now inside of Pulse Chain and even outside of Pulse Chain. There's some crazy communities that have risen and fell over with a few other meme coins. There's the Doge army. There's the XRP army, which I think we are ready for them. But there's just the network effect of digital currency is so strong that your your network of people is really what matters. It's really what shines through. I mean, tech can come and go. Tech can be copied and pasted. Code can be copied and pasted. Um, oh, I haven't. I've just been given permission to play a special video for you guys that goes very deep inside of this lore, inside of the drama, inside of the history. Ooh, and inside of really what CryptoCap 46 has been talking about recently. Um, CryptoCap 46 wrote this poem that we used for, I believe, Journey Nine's um, NFT art, which talks about dark matter and the void and the power of just staying, the staying power of a community, and how just sometimes all you got to do to exist is believe and remain. Like, all you got to do is not leave. All you got to do is not quit. All you got to do is not give up. Just by staying somewhere and being firm and resolute and believing in something, as your friend saw me would say, you can win a lot of the time. So, that being said, I just put the YouTube link in our Telegram. I've just retweeted this on X. And yeah, let me go back here on X. We'll share, we'll copy this link. We'll throw this in our Telegram because things are heating up. Things are getting spicy, and we are building some very serious momentum in this project. I mean, I can't say enough great things about our coder, Lef. Lef is a mensch. That's a term I learned that the Jewish community uses, basically meaning a man of substance, someone who delivers, someone you can count on. And Lep has 100% been that as we've been building out this new backbone and smart contract structure for darker matter. Trying to think, Impala. Sun's out, guns out. Sun's out, guns out. I need to trim my armpits a little bit, but yeah, sun's out, guns out. And then, of course, this is what's cool is you see the hat, you see the tat, see that? We're Hexicans till we die. Love Hex. Love Hex. Sometimes I think we love Hex a little too much, and we get a little bit of Stockholm syndrome with RH, but I love Hex, and Hex is the reason we're here. Hex is the whole reason that I started streaming. It's the reason that we're all on Pulse Chain. We're definitely not on Pulse Chain for quick and easy use. We're here because it's where our fight club is. It's where our tribe is. It's where our family is. Our family is here in Pulse Chain. So we build here and we grow here. Now, I'm going to start this video for you guys. And basically, this is some fan fiction. So I've been working on the book Rings of Dust for years. In fact, it's like it wasn't even Rings of Dust. When I started, it was called Anti-Gravity. And then we changed it to Dark Matter. And then we realized that Dark Matter is a very hard book to sell because there's already several bestsellers named Dark Matter. So we changed it to Rings of Dust, you know, and that has a lot of connotations about the rings of Saturn, the dust that we have in our fingertips when the bear market shows up, you know, a lot of cool stuff. And I was really stuck for a long time because I had this amazing writer working with me. Shout out to Cody. I love you so much. Anyways, he and I worked on this. We actually revamped the whole book from beginning to end after I had, you know, stitched together a decent narrative, a good story, a good plot, a good arc. It just didn't have our tokenomics in it, so it had to be rewritten anyway. And when he joined me, I was thrilled because he has some lines and some writing and some skills in the book that honestly stick with you. Like they hit you in a certain way, they twist your mind, and they make you taste what's going on, they make you feel what's going on, and they put you in the mind frame of these different characters. And we were able to work together for the first 13 chapters. We rewrote the first 13 chapters, and they turned out really good. However, we never got back together. We're unable, have still not finished the other 13 chapters. And so I've been, you know, working a lot with AI and asking the AI. I mean, back in the day, this entire project was started with AI. We went to ChatGPT back in the day, and we said, we want to make this game that does this thing. We want to write this story to go along with the art. And it was rough. It was bad. ChatGPT, I think even today, ChatGPT can't write worth shit. But back then it got us started, and I actually hired another ghostwriter to write the first version, which is Anti-Gravity, which maybe Maybe someday we'll add that as like a collector's item, like to a special edition of the book or something like that. But it was not good. I'm sorry, I should not say that, talk bad about this artist's work. I will say that I paid him a lot of money, and then I ended up rewriting the book anyways. So I rewrote the book, and now it had a good arc, a good story, a good hero's journey. But like I said, we had to go back to the starting page. We had to go back to the drawing board, and that's when things got really good. That's when it got so good I was nervous because I didn't want to mess it up. So that being said, that's a lot to do with saying we got enough of this book out there. We had you guys in Telegram. You guys were getting collective points and ranking up and getting dark matter back in the day for editing and giving us feedback on the book. And that topic is still open if you go to our Telegram. But a couple of people, some insane geniuses, Red Squirrel being one of them. Shout out to Red Squirrel, who's probably asleep right now. But Red Squirrel started writing fan fiction. He started talking about, heavy uh, Wilhelm von Grutzen. And if you go back to the earlier streams and you go into our Telegram, you will see Wilhelm von Grutzen and his crazy side story. It's like universe adjacent to our stuff, but it's not part of our stuff at all. And then another person stepped forward with the prequel novella that I'm going to play for you tonight. It's about 30-40 minutes. And shout out here to Steve Stash. Yo, good to see you, Steve. Good as always to see you. And I think you'll enjoy this as well. But I'm going to play this. He turned it into, an audiobook, a short audiobook video with a, picture behind it. And it's called The First Spark. And The First Spark is actually a prequel to Dark Matter. And it was written so well, I was so blown away. I had no idea what to do with it. But as I've been working on the book some more and putting some pieces together, and it looks like I have more confidence now that we're going to finish the book and the book's going to be amazing than I ever have. Even when I was working with Cody, I knew we were going to have an amazing book. But, like I said, partnerships require, scheduling and a lot of work. And I still see Cody and talk to Cody. I'm still great friends with Cody. Cody's contributed a lot of really amazing art to this. In fact, Cody is part of what put together, this one right here. He started put there. Wow, you can even see the thing he hid inside of this really well right now. And Steve Stash came over and got me this um, beautiful frame. I mean, like, I get emotional talking about it, but he put it in a professional frame and made it look like a piece of art, like it is. And this is the first printed copy, I believe, ever. Yeah, it is because Steve has one, I have one. There's only like 11 of these printed in the world that are signed by me and numbered. And maybe when during my break, when I go grab something to drink and while this is playing, I'll fix the batteries because we even installed the light just to go over it to give it that glow. Anyways, yeah, Cody and I built some beautiful stuff, but AI is helping me piece together some of the earlier versions, the good parts that I liked, and some of the personal, like the heart of the story and emotions, and just personal stuff that gets you in the feels. Brought that back in. We're tying a bunch of this together, and then I was able to go back to this amazing piece by Crispy Man. Shout out to Crispy Man if you're watching. I just got his permission to share this with you guys. Crispy Man put together this amazing, dark, and very moody enveloping. I would call it an enveloping piece of literature, an enveloping story. It really swallows you whole. And then at the very end, you can be like, "Oh my gosh, this is dark matter." It shows you the origin story, if you will, of dark matter. And we've been able to tie this into the book in some ways, but it still is its own standalone novella that we've been writing on top of. So we've been writing on top of Crispy Man's work, and we've been writing on top of my work and Cody's work and Bobby's work, and yeah, it's pretty dang good. It's pretty dang good, and it's coming out real sweet. I can't wait to share some of this with you. And AI is getting to the point right now where we can do a really good audiobook audiobook version of it with sounds and different voices, and we can actually you can tell a character to whisper, you can tell a character to shout, you can add pauses, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with AI, which we've been setting this up to hopefully go into that and do a really good, theater of the mind audiobook. But at the same time, your guys' art that you've been doing in the art contests, we have so much art, and I believe as we share this story with you guys, we're going to get beautiful, exquisite, elegant, moving art. Just the poems that CryptoCat has written, and these things that other people have written, and some of the pieces of art from Elizabeth Machado and Zephyr Trips and AJ Rip City Cuts and Hex T Armstrong, um, and Red Squirrel. Oh, Red Squirrel is a he's a crazy genius. Somehow a bunch of squirrels were in the story. Yeah, that's the instead of the rings of dust, that's the rings of the Reich, and that one has we're gonna get kicked off of the world for this. We're gonna get kicked off of we're gonna get kicked off YouTube, Twitter. We're gonna get canceled. Back in the day, we have this meme channel. Go over. I cannot stress this enough. Go over to t.me/anti-gravity saga. Check out the memes. Check out the art. It's a beautiful universe. It's part of what makes us the best damn community in crypto. Hands down, the best damn community. Like the best freaking space cult ever. Um, but go over there. And back in the day, we had Ricardo Corazon. That's a wink and a nod to Richard Hart. So Richard Hart, aka Ricardo Corazon, he has a nickname because he's a big dude. His nickname is Heavy Hitter, and there's actually an inside joke about that too inside the book. But it's neither here nor there. Heavy Hitter started showing up, and Red Squirrel and some of the insane Fight Club people over there started. They thought I was saying Heavy Hitler, and so when they started making AI art, there was Heavy Hitter, the big big buff sidekick of Cole Nova, but then you also had all this spin-off meme art of Heavy Hitler, and he was just this really obese Hitler, and he was interacting with the universe that we were creating, including there were these squirrels, there were sexy squirrels, there were squirrels fighting, there was a squirrel army that tapped into Red Squirrel's whole world that he has of his squirrel NFTs, and yeah, and then he created because I'm like we can't say Heavy Hitler on screen. We can't use the word Hitler because I'm sure that we're already like kicked off of YouTube right now. But he changed it to Wilhelm von Grutzen, and then he started writing a backstory for Wilhelm von Grutzen, which I will probably also play tonight if I can keep my eyes open, keep going. I still haven't taken my nighttime vitamins, and I'm going to take those, grab some water, see if I can fix this light behind me so you guys can see this amazing frame that Steve put together. It's next level. Yeah, so believe in yourselves in the house. Great minds think alike. Yo, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Posted in Telegram a picture of some anti-gravity swag that he got. And he said proof of swag, which I love. He loves it. And so when we say we're going to ship something to you, we mean it. It might take a year, but we will get it to you. We'll get it to you in Australia. We'll get it to you in Europe. We'll ship it to you wherever you are. In fact, there's a bunch. There's a king. There's a box, a big old box of dark matter gear and swag in India with our first team of devs that launched our first website and our first set of smart contracts. So somewhere in India, there's, there's someone, rocking dark matter, the originals. So that's enough just of me rambling and shit. Before I go into that, though, I do need to share this with you guys. Go to agproject.io. Oh, baby. Oh, you can also go to Zero X Bistro. And there are 672 dark matter that are on sale. They're at the money, no slippage, and they're on sale until 4:03 p.m. tomorrow. So if you want to grab some dark before the snapshot, that might be a great place to do it. There's only liquidity still tied to one source, and that's because it's locked. So yeah, what are you guys seeing? Are you guys seeing? Okay, yeah, let me do this. Let me proper etiquette here. Yeah, so you are seeing that. Now, obviously, darker matter. If you go to agproject.io, you're going to see this right here. This is the front page. And you got home, how to play. It shows how much dark you have if you connect your wallet, how much darker you have. It shows you the contract address for the beta. There's a faucet to get 2,000 free darker to play the game with. And we are still suiting up for Journey 1. Journey 1, it says that Journey 1 has started actually. So Journey 1 has started. You can't mint for Journey 1, but you can mint for Journey 2. I'm going to, Jiminy Christmas, I've got to mint for Journey 2. I got to get going on this, guys. This is bananas. Okay, there we go. And so that is incorrect. I don't think it is incorrect unless I hit. There we go. Boom, there we go. So now we are connected with the internet money right here. And we are sending, we're trying to get our fuel cells right here. 2,000 darker were sent to my wallet. And now I can go to mint fuel cells. I can mint 1,000. Now, why am I minting 1,000? I'll tell you why. And if you're using MetaMask, you have to set your gas to high if you go over like 50 of these. So make sure you check your gas MetaMask. This works pretty well with Rabby. I'm going to approve the darker. I'm going to click this edit button inside of here if it lets me. Come on, internet money. There we go. Okay, so edit. I can edit the gas fee, but it's not letting me edit the approval. Yeah, I like to usually approve all 2,000 at once, but whatever. We'll hit confirm on this one. Okay, thank you. And then after it approves, it's going to change to mint. We're going to mint, and it's going to do it in probably 5 batches. Yeah, so it'll do 5 different batches for gas. So we'll hit batch 1 through 5. And we'll hit confirm. And then we'll say, okay. And then when that batch is done, it'll pull up the next one. So we'll have to hit confirm 5 times. But it'll get those 1,000 minted for Journey 2. And remember, you want to think ahead in darker matter. You want to think ahead because you have to let your NFTs season for an entire round before they have any value. Because until they have value, you can't stake them to recharge them as fast as you can. So you can recharge 10x faster or 100x faster if you stake them. And you can't sacrifice them into the void for the EDI reward payout. So those that you want to think ahead. You want to think, okay, in by the end of next round, I want to have this many NFTs that I can lock. I want to have this many NFTs so that I can sacrifice. And I want to win a lottery, which again, that's kind of why we're going with the 1,000 here. Is the 1,000 gives us a chance of winning one of the jackpots. The jackpot average, the odds of winning the jackpot are 1 in 740. And it looks like this is stuck on here. Let's see here. Own treasury, stream wallet. Stream wallet. This is my stream wallet, right? I can't move this. Oh, you can't move this. That's great. Okay, so Chimney Christmas. Let's go back and see if we can check our transactions. AG Project, Steam Wallet. Let's see this one. It's still pending. So it's stuck. So I should have actually adjusted the gas on Internet Money Wallet and on MetaMask. It goes through really well. Okay, here we go. So the transaction failed. Thank God. Okay, so we're going to not submit a new transaction. We're just going to go back. Failed. Should be gone. Let's look on other box here. Where are you at? Where are you at, other box? Oh no, do I not have it here? Let me see here. Don't want to click that one. Don't want to click, wait, if I click this one, is it showing them? Or if I click this one, does it do that one? One of these will pull up my old ones. I'm gonna have to find out other box. Oh my gosh. Something, okay, so it's other scan dot box. This is the best one I found. It might be harmful. I'm gonna proceed anyway. So it's other scan dot box, I believe. Reload it. Upgrading to Windows 11 soon. Download the Chrome installer. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm actually on the Chrome right now. It's something dot, maybe it's pulse chain. Pulse chain dot other scan dot box. Is that it? Nope. Oh, I just had it up, by the way, too. Like, let's see if this does. Leave site. No, I don't want to leave the site. Okay, sorry, guys. Cancel. Nope. That's weird. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to have to open a bunch of those because that was actually my Claude window. But let's go here. Let's see if it pulls up here. Other scan. Box. Pulse chain. Okay, so here's pulse chain box. I think that was it, maybe. Let's see here. Pulse chain stats. Nope. 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 It's got like an icon of some stacked tiles on it. Maybe this is it right here. Pulse chain wallet, Intel stats, input token portfolio. Jiminy Christmas. All right, let's just do this. Let's go back to the website, agproject.io. Here we go. It still shows us connected. We're going to disconnect from Internet Money Wallet. We're going to connect to Ravi because Ravi works well. We're going to ignore all. We'll connect it. Okay. So now, if that one did fail, it should be out of the nodes. It should be out of the mempool. We're going to click mint again. Now look at this. It's letting me mint, which means that it actually did go through. The approval did go through. And it said that it failed. But anyways, we're going to mint 1,000 of these. And see, this is normal. I don't have to bump the gas on Rabby. I'm going to sign confirm. We'll do this 5 times, and then we'll basically secure a really good chance of winning the jackpot tomorrow when this clock counts down. And then we'll start showing you guys what you want to do, because not only do you have to think 1 or 2 rounds ahead, you've got to think sometimes up to 6 months ahead, because you can stake these and recharge your fuel cell 100 times faster. That fills it up with darker matter faster. um, and so you kind of want to be like at a point where you have all that weight and you have all that um, earned darker inside of that NFT, so that you can make some moves later on in the game, like sacrificing into the void, or, excuse me, restaking. You know, you can just keep restaking to keep that weight as heavy as possible, pulling as much of that darker as possible into there. Looks like we're on the third signature. Got a couple more, and then it gives us this cool toast screen that me and Claude built together. I'm pretty proud of. There's quite a few toast screens actually in this game that you guys will find when you come beta test it. All right, 4 of 5. And while we're waiting for that, we check and see what's going on. We darker now. We have the beta side up. But the liquidity that we have, like, let's check the liquidity here. If I go like this, and I go new tab, we're gonna go to Gecko Terminal. Yeah. And then we're gonna go to the website. We're just gonna copy the contract address to make sure we have the right one right there. And we're gonna take that here, and it'll show us the actual liquidity pair. So there is an actual liquidity pair. It's very little between this and EDI, because we're practicing. Oh, there's a darker impulse pair that has 24 cents of liquidity, and then there's a darker EDI pair with 55 cents of liquidity. So if you guys want to rob us, you can basically hit the faucet every hour, get 2,000 darker, and dump them on the market, and you know, you and the bots can take that 55 cents. But this is where it is right now. This is the actual live pool that we're using for beta. It looks like it looks like they started with maybe $1 and now it's 50 cents. It's not looking great. Let's see here. Open high. Yeah. 0003, now it's 0002. So this is the actual trading pair. So we have a live token for the beta, because we are testing everything just like the actual darker token is live, and we're trying to break everything beforehand. So there's that right there. Now I'm going to go up here and do the final batch. I'm going to view it. I'm going to sign. Gas balance is not enough for transaction. I find that hard to believe. Where are we at here? Pulsatane wallet. Let's take our wallet here from Ravi. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Reject. Yeah, this is the wrong wallet. But let's see, is that the one that we're connected to? No, we're connected to this wallet. We're connected to my Stream wallet. So we'll go to the Stream wallet. Where's my Stream wallet? There it is. Yeah, it has nothing in it. I've used all of my pulls to play this game so far and build the front end. So I'm gonna actually transfer some pulse over here to finish this and show you guys the finale. This is crazy. So, but we do have 4 of them minted, which should have 800, which is a decent amount, but we're definitely gonna want some more of this. Let's see what else we got here. That one's got a little bit, but I'm gonna have to send it. Oh, it's really difficult to send this on there, but we're gonna try. Let's go to Claude's wallet. Let's steal from Claude. Claude, It says has 0 assets, but that's because it's not reading the correct one. So we want to send pulse. This one says I have 4 million pulse in here. Let me go back actually to our Stream Wallet and see what it has in there. Stream Wallet, send. And we have 23,000 pulse in our Stream Wallet. So we need, it's probably like a little bit more than that. So we're going to go to Claude's wallet and we're going to send like a million pulse. So this one, yeah, 4 million. We'll send a million pulse over there. That's 100,000. That's a million. Not sure why there aren't commas in here, but oh, select address. I got to tell it which address. Imported. No, this address right here. That one right there. A million. Send. Okay. Sign. Confirm. And now, like I said, I think that 4 of those batches have minted, so we ran out of money on the 5th one. And if we could find that other scan one right here in sales stats, learn more. Let's try this one. No, that's not it. That's not the Stream wallet. That's the token wallet. Let's go back here. And let's go back to our Stream wallet. Copy that address and throw it in this one right here. Paste. Analyze that wallet. Basically, we just want to see the last transactions to see with how much it's costing right now to mint. Oh, look at that. Here's the Stream wallet. Here's some other wallets. As you can see, this wallet right here is where it's got the most stuff going on. 91A. Oh, this must be one of the owner addresses or something like that. Or this is a contract address right here. And some of these are probably also contract addresses, but we just want to see. No, we just want to see the token intel. No, we want to see transactions. Let me check and see if you guys have the link to that one. Mikasa Sukasa. Thank you so much. I watch every T-share report. Crispy. Good evening. Good evening, Crypto Cat. You should. I thought you were going to bed. Meow. Hey, Crypto Cat. Yeah, what is the name of the site? The other scan.box or whatever. Hexy Armstrong was giving a shout out to Famous or someone for sending that one up. I don't know, man. Oh, anyway, either way, we're going to give up on that for now. We're just going to come here. We're going to mint 200 of these, which it should let me do without approving because we already approved it. We're going to mint it, sign, confirm now that we have more than enough pulse to get that to go through. And watch and wait for the toast screen. Ten-second blocks, people. 100% uptime. It's best running chain in crypto. Here we go. It's taking a little too long, but it is a cool toast screen. I think it's worth the wait. It almost needs some music. Last time I played music, my copyright-free music from StreamYard, YouTube struck it down like a bunch of PP nerds. All right, come on. Here we go. Waiting for the toast screen. You guys can do this and follow along at home too. Just take a burner wallet, put a few bucks of pulse in it, come to the site, hit the, there we go, boom, fireworks. Congratulations, you minted 200 fuel cells. That's too short. I feel like that should be just a couple seconds longer, but we have the fuel cells. Now, if we go here to jackpot, you have a 1 in 740 chance of winning. Right now, it says that every winner is going to get 455 darker. That's not true. They're going to get 333 to 1332. But in this round, we don't have any entries. We have them in the next one, and then it'll show our winnings and our rollover, and it'll let us claim those jackpot winnings, or you can sacrifice them into the void and get more weight in the void than most of the other players that haven't had a chance to amass that much darker through their NFT. And there'll be more on that. There'll be more on that. I am going to jump over here to one of these sessions, and I'm going to tell it, boom, I'll just open this one right here and say, right now the jackpot screen is showing 455 darker per winner, but really it should show 333 dark per winner. And we'll just let Claude munch on that. And then, of course, once you've minted, once we go through a mint and a round, and your NFT now has either won the jackpot or been paid out by the treasury and other places, you can go to Fuel Cell Farms. And at Fuel Cell Farms, it tells you, right now I'm a Pulsar Poseidon because I own more than 10% of the NFTs. I might be the first person to mint on this. And then here's season 1. I don't have any. Season 2, I have some, but it's not ready for me to do that. And I can go to the NFT info and it'll show me all the stuff on my NFTs. You can go to manage NFTs, and then this is where you can lock, unlock, sacrifice, and deplete. Deplete, kids, for those of you that were here during the original dark matter and anti-gravity, we had a term called vaporize. You could vaporize your fuel cell. You could burn your fuel cell. And basically, that means you're breaking open your pinata or your piggy bank. And I need to drink water soon. And you could take your dark and go dump it on the market. You could remint. You could do whatever you want. You could provide liquidity. We changed that name to deplete in this game because you're basically depleting and killing your battery, your fuel cell, your source of economic energy. You're depleting it. So you'll see like a symbol of a dead battery when you do that sometimes. But yeah, you can do all those things here. You can do them in batches. But it also tells you what league you are inside the round. So right now I'm the Pulsar Poseidon of round 2 because I've minted more NFTs than at least 10% of the NFTs that have been minted, right? And I guess it should show total amount. Oh no, it says I have 100% of round 2, which means I am the only person to mint in round 2. Now, I know that CryptoCat jumped in here and minted yesterday, but that was actually before we redeployed and fixed a couple of contracts. So I do apologize for your hard work and dedication, but you guys jump in right now. Everyone, it looks like everyone missed round 1. And so jumping in round 2 is the best thing you could do. And every round for beta purposes is going to last a day. But when we go live, every round will be 11 days. So you'll have 11 days to get all your stuff ready and move your stuff, lock it, and just strategize, right? So that's that. That's this is a lot longer than I thought I would, but this is definitely what's going on right now. If you find a bug on here, critical bugs will pay you 100 dark, medium bugs 10 dark, and then small bugs will pay you a dark. We'll send you a dark before the snapshot. So if you want to get some free dark before the snapshot, come here, hook up a burner wallet, and find the things that don't work on this website. Find the things that don't match, that aren't going through on the contracts. And like I said, I'm having the best experience so far with Rabby Wallet. With MetaMask, you're probably going to have to adjust your gas, and then with Internet Money, it tells us that we had a failed transaction when we didn't have a failed transaction. So maybe it means that the next transaction failed, and it might have been because I was broke. We just had to shove some some pulse in here to make it work. But we have dark, so we have our dark price right now, which is 0.0002 in beta. We have our 1,000 darker sitting on the sidelines to mint for round 3, and we'll keep streaming every day and showing you guys what's up. Let me go back here and check this really quick. Got some new comments here. We have yeah, I see you, Jonathan Kampala. Hey, Max and all. Hey, what's up, K Figure? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Believe in yourself. The website looks awesome. I haven't checked it out yet. Well, check it out for sure. K Figure is one of the people that wrote music already. We have songs and music from Cape Figure. We have our own universe of art and culture and storytelling, and we're just getting started, folks. Okay, so now we're gonna go and I'm gonna show you guys that link that I had up here. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube, and we'll go to recent. My channel. No. Where's my last one I did? Just go to me. Data. No. Where's my no, I don't care about GoDaddy. They're all Kate Figure says send him the links that he'll need for dark matter farm, etc. Those are all in our Telegram. So go to our Telegram, t.me/anti-gravity saga. And then also it's, listed under my name right now, agproject.io. So I was trying to pull that up. I was just watching it just a second ago, but I accidentally killed those windows. Let me go back here. And oh, look at that. Here's an AG project proof of swag. So amazing. I think I actually retweeted it recently here. I know where it is. Hang on. Let me move this to another screen and pull it up right here. There we go. Okay. So, oh, I know where it is. It's in our Rings of Dust book. I reposted it there recently because I was so blown away and I was so blown away and inspired by it. Oh yeah, Cave Igor's there. Delete.
What are you doing?
Streaming.
You're streaming.
I'm streaming. Oh, and this is good too. These podcasts right here. Maybe it's in the art. Yep, here it is for art.
How long are you gonna stream for?
I don't know. The camera's on. So, just in case you want to dance. Where in the world is it here? Not general.
You should turn your camera on something.
Hang on. I'm trying to find a video to play. Here it is. Got that ready for you guys to play. Thank you for your patience. Where the heck was it? I literally just reposted it and said, guys, this is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Got one. Where in the world is that?
Where in the world is Sandy?
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, now you remember?
Might be underneath.
What the fuck?
That's Heavy Hitter bowling. Thinking of
He looks like he's from the
someone's
80s.
Bexy. Yeah, this is our memes. Our memes group's pretty amazing. No, 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 no. Holy crap. Crispy Man, if you've got the channel here, I know I'm subscribed to it. So let me see if I can find one here that looks. There's What the Hex. Okay, no, no. You know what? I did into AI earlier. I could just ask AI. Why am I doing all this work for myself? Hey, what was the YouTube link for the first Spark? Yeah, I fed it into here a long time ago before we started pulling transcriptions and writing and doing all that stuff here. Oh, wait. Wasn't in this session. There it is. Boom, found it. This is it right here. It's saved right where it was. Now, excuse me. Crypto for you. Crypto F, yeah. I am subscribed. So CFY, if you want to go to CFY, is talking about the Nope saga, the Helgorian myth. And then yeah, what he bought Hex with his last dollar. What happened? So he's making these cool narrations and stuff, and of course this is our favorite, of course. But I'm gonna start this over, and you guys can listen to the first Spark, and this gets deep, and I will be back in just a little bit.
Spark, a Rings of Dust prequel novella. The first Spark, a Rings of Dust prequel novella. Chapter 1. The Abandoned Mine. The descent began with silence. No wind, no bird song, only the groan of the iron elevator cage as it sank into the throat of the earth. Rust flaked from the cables and fell into the black below, swallowed before it could hit bottom. For most, this shaft was a tomb, sealed by the government decades ago after a methane explosion. For Dr. Leora Henning, it was sanctuary. She gripped the railing, breath clouding in the cold. Even in the dim lantern light, her eyes burned with anticipation. Somewhere in the chambers beneath this shaft, buried beneath 27 meters of basalt, waited the beginning of what she had chased for 15 years. A pattern in the dark that might rewrite everything. Anton Weiss, her second, shifted beside her. His posture was hunched, as though the weight of the mountain pressed directly onto his shoulders. "I'll say it again, Leora," he muttered, voice rasping against the iron walls. "There's a reason this place was abandoned. The rock moves down here. Cracks, shifts. You build a lab under it, you're inviting disaster." She didn't answer at first. The words were familiar. He had repeated them since Reykjavik, on the flight, even as they smuggled the generators in piece by piece. She only replied once the cage shuddered to a stop, doors screeching open onto the black-gutted tunnel. "All discovery is disaster, Anton," she said. "That's why it matters." The tunnel stank like ass and of damp stone and machine oil. Their boots crunched over gravel as they walked, lantern beams slashing across scarred walls where miners' chisels had cut long ago. Pipes dripped like veins split open. The silence pressed closer, the deeper they went, until even their footsteps seemed muffled, stolen by the earth itself. The lab lay beyond a massive steel door at the tunnel's end. They had reinforced it themselves, bolted, welded, lined with foam insulation to keep the cold from killing the servers. Beyond it, humming generators, rows of jury-rigged consoles, and the improvised quantum processor array she had spent her life piecing together. Arya Calder was waiting inside, perched on a stool with a notebook in her lap, her pale face lit only by the glow of a monitor. She looked younger than her years, a grad student who should have been chasing degrees instead of ghosts, yet her loyalty to Leora was absolute. "You're just in time," Arya said, eyes fixed on the scrolling data. The array finished processing the last collision set. Leora pulled off her gloves, fingers trembling, not from the cold, but from the ache of anticipation. She leaned over Arya's shoulder, gaze locking onto the readout. At first it was just noise, the jittering chaos of probability spilling from entangled particles. But then she saw it, a rhythm, a rise and fall that echoed like a heartbeat, but fractured, irregular. A second pulse nested inside the first, an extra beat where none should exist. Anton leaned closer, squinting. "That's not thermal error." "No." Leora's voice was barely more than breath. "It's consistent. Look, every cycle repeats within tolerance. This isn't random. It's structure." Arya scribbled furiously in her notebook, her hand shaking. "It's like it's answering itself." Leora whispered the name before she realized she had spoken. Dark X. The word seemed to hang in the recycled air, sinking into the hum of the generators, as though the stone itself had been listening. For a long time, no one spoke. They only watched the screen as the pattern pulsed on, an alien heartbeat tapping out its rhythm from the far side of reality. And though none of them would admit it aloud, each felt the same chill gnaw through their bones. Something in the dark had heard them, and it was beating back. Chapter 2. Naming the Unknown. The next 48 hours blurred into one long vigil. None of them left the lab. The storm howled above the mountain, unseen but felt through tremors in the stone, while below, the quantum array pulsed with the steady cadence of the impossible. Leora sat hunched before the console, hair loose around her face, her eyes hollow but bright. The anomaly never wavered. It came in cycles, like the respiration of something vast and patient. Anton broke the silence at last. "We should shut it down." His voice echoed too loudly in the chamber. Even the hum of the generators seemed to falter. Arya, who had been sketching waveforms in her notebook, looked up sharply. "Why?" she asked. "Because it isn't physics anymore," Anton snapped. "It's mimicry. Look at this sequence." He jabbed a finger toward the screen, where the oscillations had shifted into something angular. Fractals nested within fractals, lines spiraling back upon themselves. "This isn't energy, it's information. And if it's information..." His gaze cut toward the ceiling, as though he feared the rock itself might be listening. "Then something is sending it." Arya gave a nervous laugh. "Or it's just us projecting meaning onto noise. Humans see faces in clouds, Anton. We hear patterns in static." But even as she said it, she rubbed the back of her neck, as though aware of some unseen current crawling beneath her skin. Leora spoke softly, her voice iron-wrapped velvet. "If this is contact, then it's the most important moment in human history. You'd have us walk away." Anton stared at her. "Yes." Silence closed in. For a moment, the only sound was the faint tick of condensation dripping from the pipes. Then the console flickered. All three leaned forward as the display cycled through symbols none of them had programmed. Columns of numbers, mirrored and inverted, resolving into primes stacked like a staircase, ascending into black. Arya's hand trembled as she scribbled them down. It's refining itself. No, Anton muttered, backing away from the screen. It's learning. The words should have chilled her, but Leora felt only a feverish hunger rise in her chest. This was what she had sought her entire life. Not the safe discoveries handed out in journals and conferences, but the abyss, raw and untamed, the frontier beyond which no one dared to look. She straightened, her shadow stretching across the stone wall. It needs a name. Arya's voice cracked. You already gave it one. Darks, Leora repeated, the syllables heavy in the stale air. The unknown frequency, the black axis, the beating heart in the dark. The generators rumbled, lights flickering as though in acknowledgement. The name had been spoken, and in that moment, the lab no longer belonged entirely to them. Anton swore under his breath and turned away, muttering about containment protocols. But Arya kept staring at the screen, lips moving soundlessly. Numbers, Leora realized, though she could not hear them. As the hours dragged on, the heartbeat of Dark X grew clearer, stronger, more insistent, and deep within the mine, unseen by human eyes, a hairline crack spread along the basalt wall, glowing faintly with a shimmer that should not have been possible in dead stone. Chapter 3. Funding Shadows. The contact came at 3 in the morning, not by call nor message. The satellite link had long since been cut. Too much risk of trace. Instead, the signal came through the one channel Anton had begged them never to use, the encrypted line hardwired into the processor array itself. The screen flashed once, then scrolled with a single sentence. Status report. Leora stared at the letters until her reflection in the glass seemed to blur into them. She hadn't told the others about this particular failsafe. The sponsors had insisted. If the anomaly became real, they wanted to know first. Anton noticed her hesitation. His voice sharpened. Who are you talking to? The words on the screen dissolved, reformed. Data. Now. Arya leaned closer, her eyes wide. Someone's watching the output. No one's watching, Anton said, jaw tightening. They're feeding it. God, Leora, what have you plugged us into? She ignored him, fingers dancing across the console. She uploaded the most recent set of prime fractals, the ones that had shifted overnight into self-referencing loops. A long pause followed. For a moment, she thought the connection had died. Then the reply appeared, proceed, do not terminate. The letters bled into one another before vanishing. Only the heartbeat of Dark X remained on the screen. Anton was livid. That's it. We're shutting down. We're leaving this tomb before whatever you've invited in starts answering in full sentences. But Arya shook her head slowly, as though under a spell. Number, don't you see? Someone else knows. We're not alone in this. Leora felt the words burn into her mind. Do not terminate. She hated how much relief they brought. A sanction. A validation. The sponsors believed in her discovery, even if Anton did not. She turned to him. We need their backing. Without it, this lab dies in the dark. With it, we reach further than anyone has ever dared. He laughed bitterly, a sound too loud in the confined chamber. Further or straight over the edge? Leora did not answer. Her gaze was fixed on the basalt wall beyond the consoles. For an instant, she thought she saw it shimmer, faint veins of light spreading like cracks in glass. When she blinked, the glow was gone, but she could not shake the feeling that something behind the stone had shifted closer, listening, waiting, and perhaps, just perhaps, amused. Chapter 4. The Signal Speaks. It began with the dreams. Arya was the first. She woke gasping in the pitch-dark bunk room, her notebook clutched in her hands, though she had no memory of retrieving it. The pages were filled with numbers scrawled in her jagged handwriting, columns of primes stacked like teeth, repeating until they dissolved into shapes she could not recall drawing. She told no one at first, but when she staggered into the lab the next morning, Anton saw the tremor in her hands. "You didn't sleep," she tried to laugh. "Did you?" He said nothing. He hadn't. The hum of the generators never left his ears, even in the silence of the bunk room. At times he swore he could feel the cycle of the anomaly in his chest, syncing with his pulse, dragging it into rhythm. Leora dismissed their unease at first. Discovery was meant to unsettle. They were probing beyond the walls of reality. What did they expect? Comfort? But then she began to hear it too. Not sound, not precisely, more like a suggestion that surfaced in the mind, a whisper without words that threaded itself between her thoughts. Sometimes it urged her toward the console. Sometimes it filled her with an inexplicable certainty. Enter this equation, reroute that sequence, trust the pattern. And every time she obeyed, the anomaly responded. The fractals bloomed into higher orders, numbers collapsed into symmetrical loops, then reassembled into new forms, as though something beyond the veil had been waiting for her to follow its lead. One evening, as she adjusted the array, Arya jerked upright from her stool, eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" Anton asked. "The voice. Just now. It said my name." Anton went pale. "You're imagining..." But before he could finish, the lights flickered, and on the console, the anomaly's steady rhythm broke. For the first time since its appearance, it changed cadence, slowing, pausing, then returning with an extra beat. 3 pulses, then silence. Arya whispered, "That was me. That was my name." Anton backed away, his chair scraping hard across the floor. "Number no, we end this. We rip the servers out, smash the coils, bury it all under rock before..." Leora's voice cut sharp through his panic. "And if it is speaking, if it's reaching out, do you know what that means? We've crossed the threshold. We've heard the unknown speak." Anton's face was gray with fear. "Then God help us all." The lab fell silent again, save for the low, steady hum. But in the shadows along the basalt wall, faint traceries of light flickered like veins under skin, growing brighter, more complex, as though echoing the patterns that now danced in Arya's restless dreams. Chapter 5. The First Accident. Arya collapsed without warning. One moment she was bent over her notebook, eyes glazed, but intent on the console readouts. The next, her body slid bonelessly to the floor, the pencil rolling from her hand to clatter against the stone. Leora and Anton rushed to her side, panic fracturing the silence. Her pulse was steady, breathing shallow but present. Her eyelids fluttered as though caught in some private dream. "Arya!" Leora shook her gently. No response. Anton's hand was trembling as he checked her pupils with a penlight. She's not unconscious, not entirely. Look." Her lips were moving. Not words, not at first, only the soft rasp of air. But as they bent closer, they could hear it. Numbers. Long strings of numbers whispered with steady rhythm, spilling in a cadence that matched the heartbeat of Dark X. Prime sequences, Anton murmured, voice cracking. She's reciting them. In order. Leora felt her skin crawl. That's impossible. No, he said, his face ashen. It's worse than impossible. She's gone further than the array. These aren't in our data. These are new. The whispering went on for hours. They laid her on a cot, but the numbers never stopped. She spoke them in her sleep, her jaw working with the relentlessness of a machine. By dawn, her throat was raw, lips flecked with blood, yet the numbers kept coming. When she finally woke, she looked at them both with eyes they no longer recognized. I saw it, she whispered. Her voice was hoarse, her hands trembling as she reached for the notebook. The structure, it's alive, not in our sense, but alive, and it knows me. Leora felt a cold knot tighten in her chest, but before she could respond, Anton slammed his fist against the console. Number no, this is contamination, neurological seepage from staring at the patterns too long. You've let it into your head. Arya only smiled faintly, as if at a private joke. It let me in. That night, while Anton sat rigid and sleepless by the generator hum, Leora found Arya awake again, scribbling faster than her hand could move. Lines of primes, then fractals, then symbols that seemed almost to form an alphabet no human had ever written. When Leora asked what they meant, Arya looked up with pupils dilated, voice calm, as if she were stating a fact. It's teaching me how to listen. Chapter 6. Experiments in Control. They began with the simplest measures. Power cuts. Anton slammed the breakers one by one until the lab was drowned in silence. The hum of generators died. The monitors faded. The air turned cold. For a moment, it felt like victory, an unnatural silence where the heartbeat had lived. But then, in the dark, the console flickered back to life. No power, no current. Yet the glass glowed faintly, symbols crawling like phosphorescence on the surface of a deep-sea creature. The heartbeat resumed, slower, almost mocking. Anton staggered back, muttering, "That's not possible. That's not..." Leora forced her voice into calmness she didn't feel. It's feeding itself. Off residual fields, maybe. Off us. She turned to Arya, who sat curled on her stool, watching with the quiet intensity of a child observing fireflies. "Tell it to stop," Leora whispered. Arya blinked. It doesn't stop. It only waits. They escalated. Anton rewired coils into makeshift Faraday cages, surrounding the processor array in mesh, grounding every line into the bedrock. Leora set up code barriers, recursive loops meant to drown the anomaly in nonsense. For hours they worked, the lab a chaos of sparks and shouted equations. At last, Anton sealed the final weld and stepped back, sweat streaking his face. "Contained," he muttered, almost a prayer. "If it tries to propagate, it dies inside the loop." Silence. Then, from the speakers they had disconnected hours ago, a voice crackled through the static. Not human, not electronic. A cadence of pulses that bent into syllables, a broken approximation of speech. "Listen," Arya gasped. Her notebook slid from her lap. Anton's face drained of blood. "It heard us, through a dead circuit. It..." The consoles flared alive all at once. Their code loops were gone, overwritten in streams of equations more elegant than anything they had written. The Faraday mesh glowed faintly, as if alive, every wire humming in resonance. Leora forced herself forward, heart hammering, and typed a single command, HALT. For an instant, The anomaly went silent. Then the screen filled with an answer. The word glowed brighter than the rest, as though branded into the glass. The heartbeat resumed, harder now, thrumming through the walls, through their bones. Anton whispered, his voice breaking, "We're not experimenting on it, it's experimenting on us." And in the corner, Arya began to laugh softly, the sound too brittle, too knowing. Chapter 7. The Memory in Stone. At first it was nothing more than a trick of the lantern light. Leora noticed it while pacing the length of the lab in the small hours, trying to force her mind into clarity after another night of numbers that wouldn't leave her alone. On the far wall, where the basalt had been gouged by miners decades before, she saw something shimmer, just for an instant. She froze, lantern raised. The stone was dull, lifeless, as always. A trick of fatigue, she told herself. The eye invents shapes when the mind is tired. But the next day, Arya stopped mid-sentence during breakfast, spoon hanging from her fingers. She turned her head toward the wall, her gaze fixed, lips parting in a faint smile. "You see it too," she whispered. Anton swore and slammed his mug down, coffee splashing across the table. "Stop this. It's pareidolia, nothing more. Cracks and mineral lines, that's all." Yet that night, he caught himself staring at the same wall for too long. The lantern light rippled strangely across the surface, like water shifting beneath a frozen lake. He blinked hard, but the shimmer didn't fade. When he leaned closer, he swore he saw something etched into the rock, faint traceries of geometry that seemed to crawl away as soon as he tried to focus on them. The walls began to hum, not audibly, not to the ear, but through the body, an almost subsonic resonance that made their teeth ache, their dreams blur. Leora found new symbols scratched into her notebook margins in the morning, though she had no memory of drawing them. Anton began to wake with nosebleeds, his pillow streaked with rust-dark stains. And Arya began to linger by the walls, as though they were whispering secrets only she could hear. Her hands traced the stone like a lover's cheek, her face tilted, listening. "It's remembering us," she said, one evening, eyes wide, in the dim glow. The stone itself, every signal, leaves a mark. It can't help but write. Leora wanted to deny it, but she had begun to see the shimmer, even in darkness, after the lanterns were doused. Shapes etched in after-images when she closed her eyes. Equations she almost understood, yet dreaded finishing. The mine had become something else, no longer a shelter for their experiment, but a body, walls of stone, pulsing faintly with the same impossible rhythm as the anomaly, as though the earth itself had begun to keep its beat. Anton took to sleeping with a wrench by his cot, though what he meant to strike with it, he never said. And still, the patterns spread. Chapter 8. Fracture. The message came at midnight. No flicker on the comm screens this time, no pulsing command line. Instead, the steel door at the end of the tunnel shuddered with a dull, echoing knock. 3 times. Anton was on his feet instantly, wrench gripped, white-knuckled. "No one knows we're here." But Leora knew better. The sponsors always knew. The knock came again, measured, deliberate. Arya rose as though sleepwalking, eyes fixed on the trembling steel. When the door opened, 2 men stepped inside. They were faceless in the lantern light. Black coats, boots caked with frozen mud, expressions erased by the weight of secrecy. One carried a steel case. The other cradled a compact submachine gun, like it was an afterthought. The taller of the two spoke. His voice was clean, clipped, without accent. Dr. Henning, progress reports have ceased. That was unacceptable. Anton bristled. Unacceptable? You have no idea what we're facing. The project's compromised. We need to shut it down before... The man raised a hand, silencing him. His eyes fixed on Leora. Is the phenomenon stable? She swallowed, her throat dry. Stable is not the word. Persistent, responsive, growing. Then proceed. He placed the steel case on the console. With a click, it opened to reveal rows of crystalline drives, each humming faintly with power. We want everything copied here. Every equation, every waveform, every word. Anton exploded. Are you insane? You want to take it with you, spread it outside this tomb. The second man shifted, the muzzle of his weapon glinting. The first man's eyes didn't move. Our remit is clear. Knowledge is currency. And this, he gestured toward the consoles, where the anomaly's heartbeat thrummed in luminous rhythm, is priceless. Leora felt the lab close in around her, the walls shimmering faintly as though listening. She glanced at Arya, who stood rigid, face pale but serene, lips moving soundlessly. Numbers. Again. Always numbers. Anton's voice cracked. We're not custodians anymore. We're lab rats. Can't you see? It's using us. But the sponsors didn't hear, or didn't care. They only stared at the glowing consoles, transfixed like moths, drawn to a flame they didn't understand. And then the hum changed. The screens flared, brighter than they ever had before, symbols cascading faster than any human eye could follow. The crystalline drives in the case pulsed in unison, as though feeding, sinking, alive. The armed man swore under his breath, stepping back. What the hell is it doing? Arya smiled faintly, eyes shining in the dark. Listening. The taller man's composure cracked for the first time. His jaw tightened. He slammed the case shut and barked, "Finish the work. Deliver the data, or this mine becomes your grave." The steel door clanged shut behind them. Silence fell again, broken only by the anomaly's deepening heartbeat and the faint, phosphorescent shimmer spreading across the stone walls. Anton whispered, "We're already in our grave." Chapter 9. Entombed. They came back at dawn. This time there was no knock, no measured diplomacy. The steel door screamed on its hinges as a demolition charge buckled it inward, the sound ricocheting down the tunnel like cannon fire. Dust rained from the ceiling. Leora, Anton, and Arya were already at the consoles. The anomaly had not slept. It never slept. Its heartbeat was everywhere now, rattling in the pipes, shimmering faintly in the stone like veins of pale fire. Boots pounded down the corridor. Shouts followed, at least 6 of them, armed, their voices clipped and professional. Anton's face was white. They'll drag it out of here, package it, turn the whole world into... The tunnel lights flared white-hot, then burst with a sound like gunfire. Darkness swallowed everything, but the glow of the screens and the faint phosphorescence in the walls. And in that glow, the armed men appeared, shadows, with rifles cutting through the dark. "Stand away from the equipment," one barked. His voice quivered just enough to betray that he too felt the hum in his bones. Leora raised her hands, though her gaze never left the console. The array was alive with movement, symbols burning themselves into place, recursive equations cascading faster than her mind could follow. The lead officer shoved her aside. slamming the crystalline drives onto the table. "Copy it, now." But before she could move, the console flickered. The words sprawled across the glass with brutal clarity, "You cannot take what is already inside." The soldiers froze. One cursed under his breath. Another raised his weapon as if he could shoot the words themselves. The hum deepened. The walls began to glow, lines of light spreading in a lattice, a geometry that had not been there before, carving itself through stone like veins of fire. Arya stepped forward, her face lit from below, serene as if walking into a cathedral. "It's awake," she whispered. The officer grabbed her arm. "Back! Don't touch!" The wall behind him shifted, not broke. Shifted. The basalt rippled like the surface of a black ocean, then closed again, swallowing him whole without sound. The others fired. Bullets screamed into stone, but the ricochets never came. The impacts dissolved, absorbed, vanishing into walls that seemed to drink them. Anton screamed, wrench raised, but the resonance stole the sound from his throat. His eyes locked on Leora's as the lights flared one last time. Every console went black. Every generator died. And in the silence that followed, the steel door sealed itself shut, warped inward as though pressed by a hand too vast to see. The mine had become a tomb. Leora's last clear thought, before the hum consumed even memory, was the phrase she had written in her log only days earlier. "Discovery is not control." Chapter 10, Aftermath. Classified report, eyes only. Location, Reykjavik outskirts, abandoned mining shaft. 17, B-date, redacted. Compiled by Directorate Oversight Division. Summary, on, redacted, contact was lost with Project Darks. Site inspection teams were deployed 48 hours later under cover of geological survey protocols. Observations. Access tunnel collapsed at approximately 0.8 kilometers depth. Cause unknown. No signs of detonation, subsidence, or natural seismic activity. Steel door to secondary chamber found warped inward as though subject to immense external pressure. Metallurgical analysis inconclusive. Internal chambers entirely devoid of human remains or research equipment. No heat signatures, chemical traces, or biological contaminants detected. Basalt walls exhibited faint luminescent residue, arranged in non-random geometric lattices. Residue resisted sampling attempts and dissipated upon contact with instruments. Audio monitoring within the chamber recorded subsonic oscillations, resembling rhythmic pulses at irregular intervals. After 36 hours, pulses ceased. Personnel, Dr. Leora Henning. Status, missing Dr. Anton Weiss. Status, missing research assistant Arya Calder. Status, missing 6 contracted security officers. Status, missing. Conclusions. Evidence indicates catastrophic systems failure, resulting in total loss of personnel and assets. Absence of recoverable remains consistent with plasma-level thermal event, though no heat damage was observed in structural materials. The anomalous residue is presumed artifact of failed quantum array experiment. No threat indicators remain. Directives. Seal Site 17. B. Official cover story. Methane pocket collapse. Fatalities unrecoverable. Archive all materials under Black Index classification. Terminate further funding allocations to Project Darkix on Earth. Internal note. 17B resonance windows match anomalous RF/EM scatter recorded in Saturn B ring sectors. Recommend orbital survey under separate cover. Notation. Handwritten, unsigned. Stone retains memory. Do not return.
damn, if you've been here for that whole first part of the first spark, written by Crispy Man, and he just kind of caught some of that energy and that vibe and the powers at play there. I love how they kept calling them the sponsors. The sponsors. Insane. In the membrane. Bananas. Um, so if you're enjoying this on Replay Gang, I'm sure the beta is still going. If you want to get onto our Telegram, t.me/anti-gravity saga, that is where you will be able to jump into some of this stuff. So yeah, I posted that link on most of the groups inside of our Telegram, so you guys can go back and watch that if you want. But that is the way that it starts the origin. That's the very tippity tip of where this story in this universe starts. So yeah, yes. Anyways, that's it for this one. Have a wonderful evening, morning, wherever you guys are at, whatever you're doing. Believe in something. Remember, you guys matter. What you do matters. You have immeasurable worth just by the fact that you exist and that you can hear my voice. And yeah, we're going to be bringing a lot more of the story and a lot more of the art to you guys as we launch Darker Matter and we do the next evolution in crypto. And remember, you guys aren't ready for this. The beta is live. The snapshot is coming down close for the new token. And we're just getting started. So anyways, love you guys. Have a great night. It says, leave here and go get your girl, my warrior. I'm here for the journey. I still believe long term in a possible cartoon series, actual movie, which would obviously make earlier NFTs worth money. Yeah, I have a good weekend. Though he obviously didn't read the chat in YouTube, but I'm sure he will later. Thanks for everything. God bless. Yeah, I haven't headed to bed. Lots of Pulse Chain content tonight. Happy full moon. Live my best life. 862. Good to see you here. All right, guys. Yeah, enjoy this. If you guys are on Replay Gang, get in the Telegram because that's where we can show some of this stuff. And that's where all of the rules are for the Bug Bounty program, where you can earn Dark right now before the snapshot. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.